The Purple Rain podcast. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about something I have been keen to touch on ever since we started the expansion process for the 2026-27 season, and that is the possibility about conferences, because it has kind of been, thrown up in the air. We've even had it been mentioned in the information reports of the World Cup finals. Could there be talks of going to divisions, conferences, that kind of thing? Yeah, I am more inclined to go with the conference route rather than the divisions route. I just can't really see how 3 divisions of 4 would work, because where would Minnesota go? Yeah, because obviously you could put all the Pacific Coast teams, so San Jose, Las Vegas, along with Seattle, Vancouver in a Pacific division. And then what do you do? Where would we go? Because the closest to us is Detroit. Yeah. So who else would you then put in that division with us in Detroit? So I wouldn't want to go with the divisions route right now when there's only 12 teams. It's not really enough to do divisions. I think when we get to maybe say 2024 team league, that is when we can start having the conversation about divisions, but I think right now just go down with the conference route. So it's simple. Do an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference. You don't have to call it East and West. You can name it after some legendary women's hockey players, maybe. Yeah, for example. Yeah. So hold on. Would that mean we would be in a conference with no inaugural 6 teams? We would. Oh, we would, because if we're gonna do East West, which would be the logical route to do. That you would have Boston, Montreal, Ottawa, New York, Toronto, and Hamilton in the East, and you would have San Jose, Las Vegas, Vancouver, Seattle, us, and Detroit in the West. Now I know Detroit fans will be thinking, "Hang on, no, we're in the Eastern time zone." Oh, yes, but see, the thing is, the PWHL Detroit fans, I'm old enough to remember those days when the Red Wings did used to be in the Western Conference. In fact, in the early 2010s, I had some nasty and, dare I say, bloody playoff series between the Detroit Red Wings. You did. I know, you really did. I know, 2011, that took a lot out of us, and maybe that's why we weren't really at our best in the Conference Bars that year, because we made it to back-to-back Conference Bar appearances, and 2010 was kind of a letdown. We kind of thought 2011 was going to be like a redemption, but alas was not to be. You could argue that's because Detroit took a lot out of us in that second round, which did go to 7 games. So I know Detroit fans are thinking, hang on, no, we shouldn't be the Western Conference, but you're going to have to, because it's the only way we can make the numbers work, I'm afraid, guys. I'm sorry. It's the only way it can work. Yeah, so I would be really up for... So shall I go say my first, then come to you two? Yeah, go, so that. Right, so I'm really up for doing the conference route, because I can see how it will really help with the travel. Travel is clearly something that is at the forefront of this league's mind, especially when you look at the geographical map now. Everybody has got, basically, a travel buddy in this league. So basically somebody who is literally within close proximity to. So for us, Minnesota, that is now PWHL Detroit. I know I mean, us 3 cars still feel like we are on a bit of an island, and we would love like some more central time zone teams like Winnipeg and St. Louis. Get some mountain time zone teams like Denver and either Calgary or Edmonton. I don't mind which one goes first. Of the other cities, yeah. But Detroit's close to us. Got Seattle, Vancouver together, Toronto now with Hamilton, Boston, New York close together, and all that. So travel seems at the full bubble. So you can make travel easier, especially how the PHL literally flies economy. Wow! Oh god! Oh, it's been a long day. Well, I'm trying to get it out. Especially when the PHL flies economy, and we can predict it, because obviously when we were flying back to Minneapolis from Denver, we bumped into the. We didn't really bump into them, but we were passing by the York Sirens, who were on their way over to Vancouver. Literally, we had just done our check-in, the bags and all that, and then we were on our way to security. As we were going over to security, we were passing the upper check-ins, and we spotted them right over all of them. So we're there. Yeah. So you want to make sure travel is as easy as possible, especially for those West Coast, those Pacific Coast teams. Travel really played a huge factor. Not the main reason, not the main factor, but it was a huge factor. Why Vancouver did not live up to those high expectations that they had going to the start of the season. And I just think travel, you can get the travel out really helpful. And I got that experience with the AHL. Because the AHL, you only see teams in your division and one or two teams outside your division, but in the same conference. For example, my Barracuda, see outside of our division, we tend to see the Texas Stars and the Iowa Wild on a regular basis, and then one other team every now and then. This year it was Milwaukee. Yeah, so Askar's old club. Unfortunately, he already managed to jump to the big league. So but he was more ready for that. He was more ready for that. At least we gave him a pap into the XL, unlike Nashville. Anyway, yeah. So I feel conferences would be really good, and it could make some interesting rivalries. I mean, every night right now in the PWHL is a rivalry night, but I think it would intensify certain rivalries more, because chances are you might see your conference rivals more than the teams in the other conference. So there's probably going to be an unbalanced schedule maybe with that. That's to me the draw. Well, at the moment. I can't do the mental maths right now in my head. It's never been my strong point because it has been quite a long day for me. I'm running on fuels as it is. Yeah. But that's what it goes. So do you two want to go to the floor? Do you want to pick on that? Yeah, I can spot the flaw straight away by doing either conferences or divisions, which is you would see teams not in your conference less than you do right now. Now, obviously in the AHL that works fine, but I would miss if we would see the charge or the victoire or even on a regular basis, or even dare say the sirens. Yeah. But I think ideally, if we did go down the conference route, the league would still try to stick to make sure that you get to see everybody in your bar at least once. Yeah. But you then probably see certain teams like Montreal, like New York, which should be a bit of a far stretch for Minnesota, but but you gotta make do. You gotta make do with what you can do here, guys. I'm afraid, it's just the way it works. I'm afraid, yeah. But I could see the league going for the conference route here just to really help with travel. And now we've got 12 teams in kind of a perfect geographical alignment. You could now make the jump and go, right, we're gonna go do the conferences. It's just, I think seeing teams outside your conference lesser might be the big drawback for me. Because I feel like I bond with certain teams more than others. Really? Would it be the inaugural 6 by any chance, my friend? Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, the beauty of this league is right now, we don't hate anyone. No, we don't hate anyone. That may change next year, depending on how Las Vegas behaves. That might change, but right now we don't hate anyone. And yeah, I kind of felt we bonded more with the inaugural 16s more than Seattle, Vancouver this year, because the inaugural 6 we came together. We can't, so it's just but we would make it work. Yeah, we would make it work, but I get what you mean. You kind of feel a bit weird seeing the likes of Emily Clark and the Ottawa Charge, or Captain Clutch on the Montreal Victoire, Lesser, or even Aaron of the Boston Fleet. It would feel a bit weird, but but if it helps cut down the unnecessary trouble, then I'm all for it. I'm a bit on the fence. I think conferences is a good way to go. But you're thinking not next year. Yeah, right. Right. I'm thinking, because obviously next year is the first season with 12 teams. Do we really want to try out something as big as a conference system, where we're basically we're basically in the midst of welcoming 4 brand new teams into the fold? Do we not want to, wait a bit before we do that? I mean, I'm all for bringing in some new rules, like we saw this year with the Coaches Challenge being removed. I'm all for bringing in new rules next year, which I'm sure they will. But I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, you two, I don't think we've had a season where there has not been at least one new rule change. No. I thought we were going to get away with it this year, but no. So I'd be all for some interesting new rules, but I think for conferences, I would hold out until the 27-28 season. So use next season, 26-27, use that season to plan for how a conference system would look like. How would an increased schedule look like? Okay, but for this year, just stick to the status quo. Try and get more games if we can, because obviously we've now got that freedom with the with more weeks in the calendar, because obviously the World Championships don't take place during the season anymore.
Yep.
So you got extra dates there you can play with to go get the schedule of the World. I'd wait it until the following season. So I'm not saying no, and I'm not gonna try and come up with some petty excuses to why we shouldn't do a conference system, why I think we should do a conference system. It's just I feel I'm not ready to do it next year. Oh, that's fine. That is absolutely fair. Because this is a huge. This expansion round, which we are about to enter, it's a huge jump from where we were last year. Last year it was just welcoming 2 teams into the fold. This year it's welcoming 4 new teams into the fold. Do we really want to then literally cause more havoc into the mix by, upending our season structure and how it works just for the sake of it because we can? We know it's highlighted the playoffs will change next year, because obviously, you can't really have the top 4 go through on a 12-team league. Nah, would be criminal. But yeah, so I feel for me, I want to do it now. You'd want to do that? Yeah, I can see your reasons why you want to hold back, but for me, I kind of feel it's like with the expansion to 14 this year. If we're going to do it, let's just rip off the band-aid and get it done now, and then if this setup works, then that's good, because obviously this could be the setup we could have when we get to a 16-team league, or a 20-team league, or a 24-team league, Like I said, I think 2024, maybe that is when you look at, okay, you've got enough teams to do divisions now, work out how many you want in each one, But I think a 12-team league with 3-4 divisions just doesn't sound right, especially where would we go? Because I know all the Pacific Coast teams were just going 1 division, that's done. But for the other 8, what do you do with them? Because obviously you would have us and Detroit in a division. Who would the other 2 be? Who would those other 2 teams be? They'll be the East Coast lot that's left. They won't like it. They won't like being in a division with us. But what can you do about that? Keys to the barrel? Not that sort of show, dear. No, it's not. No, it is not. What mucky photos have you been Googling? Don't know what you mean. Yeah. So, what do you think? Obviously, Ladies basically said she wants to pause for now. I'm saying do it next year. What do you feel? What, in terms of a timeline for conference? I kind of feel if we're going to introduce the conferences, we should just do it now. And then we can work out through the TV issues this next season, so this upcoming season, and then for the future we can then work out how we can make it stable and beneficial for the future when more teams come in. Yeah. So the way I see it is this: so it would be 2 conferences, one of an Eastern Conference and one as a Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference, you would have Boston, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, Toronto, and Hamilton. Okay, so that's those 6. And then in the Western Conference, you'd have us, Detroit, San Jose, Las Vegas, and Seattle, and Vancouver. That's those 6. That's how you would do it. Now, the way I would do it, because I can't really... Now, I'm not going to do the mental maths. But I can't see a way you can do a conference system and still see both conferences in an even split. I can't see how it would work. So I think you probably would play your conference rivals more often than your non-conference rivals, but you'd still would be in a league where you would get to see everybody in your barn at least once, maybe twice if you're lucky, because we don't know what the number of games is going to be. I'm really praying that it will go up from 30 this year to, I don't know, maybe say 36, maybe somewhere between 32 and 36, maybe next year. Yeah, because 12 teams is not going to work. It would work for 36. Oh yeah, because 12 times 3! 12 times 3! There we go! Yes, 12 times 3 equals 36. Well done, Pluto. Remembering our year 4 mental maths exams. Yeah, year 4 you had to do every week. You had to do a times table. You did not get to go up to the next times table unless you got it all in the previous one correct. Took me forever to get past 7 times table. Wow, who can do that one, George? No, I shot my year 4 private school teachers, but the fact that I was able to do the 9 times table quite easily because I spotted a pattern how the numbers go in a descending order. So you got 9 and 18, 27. So you can see how the right hand number is basically going down, and the left number is basically going up. I spotted that pattern very quickly, and I'd only been about 10 at the time. I was 10 in year 4. That was 2000. That was 2006, 2007. Wow. Yep, I know those years have not been kind. Yeah, so you would probably see your conference rivals a bit more often than your non-conference rivals, but you'd still find a way to make sure you can see everyone in your league at least twice. At least twice. So you two would be definitely up for it. Oh, I'm definitely up for doing a conference system. I'm just saying maybe let's wait another season before we do it. Okay. Yeah, because you could do it now, but it's too risky, especially with welcoming 4 new teams in. Okay. So then, how would we feel about divisions? Because I don't really feel for them. I don't really want to go down the divisions route. I'd rather it just be either divisions or conferences. Let's not try and do the HL route and do the best of both worlds. Sorry, couldn't resist. couldn't resist. Could not resist. Can you believe the reunion special happened the week we got back from Minneapolis? Alright, crazy. In fact, we found out about that before we flew out, and we were like, no! It can't be when we're coming back! Oh, fuck, we're still gonna be jet lagged! And we were. Still haven't got around to it yet, because still not got around to it yet. But no, I don't really want to do divisions and conferences. I want to do one or the other. So me, I'd rather go to conferences. What do you two think about divisions? I could see the league doing it when we hit maybe 16 or 20 teams, but I think right now there's only 12. It's not really, not really doable right now. No, not right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. No, just do. You want split teams up. Just do it in conferences and be done with it. Yeah, I wouldn't be in favour of a division, because how would it then work with what happens with qualification for the World Cup playoffs? Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna get messy. I mean, easily you could do top 4. And this is very good. Top 4 in each conference goes through to playoffs. Or if the league's desperate to do 60 path, top 3 in each conference goes through, and then the top seed in each conference gets the bye. Maybe, and then maybe, and then whoever's the higher conference winner in that gets to pick the opponent. Maybe. There's lots of scenarios here, guys. There's lots of scenarios on the table for what could happen. But yeah, so we're not keen on divisions right now, but I think we would absolutely love to see, a conference set up and see how the league would handle that. Would they go for just a straightforward Eastern or Western conference, or could you maybe, name it after famous women's hockey players, you know. Yeah. Because I think a lot of American sports leagues, when they do conferences, they just go for the easy West, East, or North, South, American, National, and all that. Yeah. Whereas you've got lots of these great legends, you've got these Hall of Fames. Why not use their memory to, you know, to as part of your league? Maybe name these conferences after, you know, some legendary, famous hockey players in the women's game. Maybe, I don't know. Just a thought. You know, rather it just be just simple East-West division. Oh, East-West conference. Rather it just being a simple East-West conference. Why just make it, you know, name it after two famous hockey players of the women's game. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Maybe. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see how the league is going to handle the conference route, because it's an interesting development. We've heard it being mentioned quite a few times now how all the league could maybe go down the conference route or the division route. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see when we get details about how the scheduling is going to work next year, because right now we're all in limbo. We don't know if the league is going to increase the schedule or not. We don't know if they're going to mess about with the playoff format or not. This is all very much speculation right now, but realistically, if you've got a 12-team league, no way can you stay at 30 games. No chance. You're going to have to increase that schedule. And it can be done, okay? Now that the World Championships no longer take place during the regular season, you now have got an extra 3 weeks in the calendar to try and work out some dates and everything. And all that. So, I feel that there's exciting times ahead when it comes to how we're going to schedule the season. But for me, I would rather go down the conference route. I don't want to do the division routes right now. And I'm not sure I want to do it full stop. But I wouldn't be surprised if saying maybe in the next 5 years or 10 years, the league comes around and says, right, we're doing divisions. And I'm like, oh, here we go, give me strength. We also dread about which division will be in which. Oh, I know. Yeah, right now I just think, nah, not gonna work. Divisions right now would not work, because where would you put Minnesota? Where would you put us? Yeah. So, yeah, but I just think, yeah, but I'm interested to see how it's gonna work. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. Will we have the conferences? Will we not have the conferences? I don't know. It's gonna be exciting times. But a conference system, a conference setup is something I could definitely see the league doing in the near distant future. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened maybe next season. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm very excited to see how it's going to work. And obviously, if we get news about that, of course, we'll update you on that as always. You two, what you want to say before we go? It'll be interesting to see when they want to do it, because I'm going to stand by what I say. Go for it! Put the foot down, lady! Put the foot down! Go on, put the foot down! Alright, steady on, anger. Put the foot down. I'm going to stand by what I said. I think don't do it next season. Wait till the 27-28 season. Work out how a 12-team league works next season. And after that, then you can start messing about with your format. But we'll see. I'm definitely more in favor of a conference system. Okay. So, I would be absolutely in favor of a conference system, but it would not surprise me to go down the division route. Okay. I want conferences, not divisions. I laid out how I think the conference system could work. I mean, I know Detroit fans will be absolutely pissed off, but what are we supposed to do? There's only 5. Yes, there's only 5 teams out in the West Coast right now. The East Coast outnumbers us 7-5. Yeah, which is the exact same numbers the US outnumbers the Canadian market. So we're outnumbered 7-5. What are we supposed to do, guys? Okay, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, so I'm sorry, Detroit, you're going to have to go back to your Red Wings days and pretend you're a Western team. Okay, there's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. It's not my fault you're close to us in Minnesota. Yeah, so them's the breaks, motors. Them's the breaks. Oh, you're now floating, that's a plot. Whoa, it was Hatter. Had to put in the name as I thought, oh, that could work. Anyway, no, but I'm really up for a conference system, but we'll see how it goes. Let us know, what do you think? Are you up for a conference system? Or are you not up for a conference system? Let us know what you think. And we are going to say that's all for today. I'm going to love you, leave you, and as always, until next time, take care, guys.